empathic civilization and collective commons. I want to do a talk on two very profound ideas. One of them, the collective commons, is a new business model that's developing as we speak right now in the last 24 months. But let me start with talking about Jerry Rifkin's empathic civilization. What he argues is that human beings are naturally empathic. That empathy is something we all have. In order to save our planet, we have to become empathetic to it. Empathic to it, not empathetic. I'm dyslexic. That's a completely different thing. So being empathic to other living creatures, to other people. The Japanese are a very empathic community. Community builds empathy. And the simple fact that in Japan, communities are thousands of years old. Villages are thousands of years old. Rice farmers have owned the land for hundreds, thousands of years. And ultimately, this creates a very empathic community that attracted me to Japan. We've lost the empathy in America. We're all a bunch of survivalists, independent, out for our own sake type individuals. And the problem is that our American dream of this independence, of this do it for ourselves at the sake of everyone else, has fueled something called the startup, our business model. It has created this top-down, centralized business model vehicle that ultimately, if you trace back every crisis facing our planet, is tied to it. So my argument is, in order for us to usher in an empathic civilization that Rifkin talks about, we have to change the fundamental business model. You see, that model is endemically flawed. Endemically basically means that the system itself is broken, that there's no way of fixing it. So that's why I spent the last 4 years making no money, with no support, working on an idea called Foundups, the Open Innovation Framework. The Open Innovation Framework is Ethereum. Ethereum is the Open Innovation Framework that is built as an open source and on Bitcoin 2.0. But Ethereum is OIF. And I actually shared OIF with one of the founders of Ethereum back in 2011, trying to recruit him. What they've built is amazing. And what Ethereum means is it means we can now decentralize the startup. And in decentralizing the startup, what we can do is save our planet. You see, the moment we decentralize the startup, we decentralize corporations and bring about something that I, again, shared with Ethereum, and they talk about is distributive autonomous organizations, but they're just kind of a next generation of something I called open corps, or peer-to-peer open corporations, where ultimately we can have corporations that are selfless and not selfish. Corporations that are basically created by the people, for the people, or for the people, by the people, and not by the few for the benefit, the financial benefit of a few, which is the current corporate model. You see, Foundups leads to these corporations that are mandated not to invest in lobbyists, that are mandated not to invest in politics. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a public outcry as soon as people see and understand P2P open corporations, and they're going to demand that other corporations like Google, like IBM, like Monsanto, like no matter where they are, that they become P2P open corporations, or be boycotted. You see, all we need to do is show people the new paradigm. All we need to do is usher it in, and the people will follow. The people will support it. And within 10 years, we can replace the current closed corporate model with an open one. We can replace the current closed, centralized startup with an open one called Foundups. And we can usher in the change needed. I want to put this into perspective. Imagine, for example, that the startup never existed. And I was the guy who invented the startup back in the early 19th century, the business vehicle. And instead it was the Foundup. And Foundups are mandated to reinvest 80% of their net profits launching more Foundups. And this includes capital gains. So let's look at the $6.7 trillion that is currently being held hostage by billionaires. That 6.7 trillion would have translated into 5.2 trillion reinvested into Foundups. Imagine what the world would be like with $5.2 trillion basically being pumped from the bottom up into launching Foundups. Now, what are Foundups? Foundups are ideas that benefit our planet and its living stakeholders. Imagine a planet full of permaculture, or a planet full of organic farms, a planet where everyone basically grows their own food, feeds their own community, a planet where solar power is free and accessible because that thing up there lives outside our system. That thing up there called the sun can provide all the power we need for free. For free. That's right, for free. Because when we have millions of people coming together and giving $1, then we can start putting up free solar farms for the people. We can start establishing the food system, the education system, all of them in a decentralized way. You see, I couldn't do that until Ethereum was established. And I failed. Because if I would have been able to find investors, if I would have been able to find money, I would have had Ethereum in 2010. Or what is Ethereum? I would have called it the Open Innovation Framework. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who built the Open Innovation Framework and whether you call it Ethereum or the Open Innovation Framework. It doesn't matter. What's a matter is that it exists. Because now that it exists, it means we can start saving the planet together. My name is Michael Trout, and I hope that you will support my crowdfunding campaign. It's never ending. So you can come back a year from now, 2 years, 5 years. It's still going to be going for you to participate and support with as little as $1. Visit Foundups.com and join me in helping to save the planet together with Foundups. Thanks.